What's going on, guys? Redundant Neos here. Redundant because I know this is one of my last two videos with a profile of this exact same deck, but I someone wanted to there was a few people in my locals who wanted to see this profiled again because I ended up just getting to the finals of an OTS that was going on in my locals. Lost to a hard counter, but we'll get to that. So, for the meantime, let's get right back to adding Nister with a deck list that honestly hasn't changed too much, but hopefully we're just going to figure out what I've learned since the last time, because I was still very much learning the deck that time around. We still got our 3 Achichi, still the same mismatching rarities. Dude's still your monster searcher, very important, it's a very important starter. Gotta run 3, same for Picari. Important starter, you run at 3, it searches your back row. Not much else to say about them. We got our 2 Doyen still. A lot of the main deck is the same. Still get your monsters back from the grave. You still do this. It's still the extender that you search to get to a rival on turn 1. We got our 1 Baruru to send stuff to be an Armageddon Knight for us. We got our 1 Hayuri and 1 Gachiri as the extenders still, and we still got the 1 Damari. Monster lineup is honestly the exact same. We got our 3 Ash, 2 Valor. This is where the monsters change a little bit. We still got the 1 Nib for crossout and the 3 Imperm. No Gamma anymore. I wasn't liking how I didn't like how it was working out. Ended up just being dead in hand a lot, so I cut it to make room for something else. Decklist is still above 40 by a significant amount, which I could still probably work on, but is what it is. I've been liking it a lot better with the Gammas gone, because I'm still stuck going first because I don't have the board breakers to go second. And with that in mind, Gamma's not really good because the only thing it really does is hit the spell and traps. I know that's still something significant, but a lot of people are not hitting the spell and traps. They're hitting the monsters, so Gamma wasn't helping me. We got the 3 Signet, 3 I Meet You, which I now know how to properly use as a starter, which we'll get into, thanks to looking stuff up on YouTube. Yep, we're at that point. But we got our 3 Small Worlds still to help get into monsters. We still got the triple island, the 1 terraforming, the 1 reborn, the 1 fighting spirit. I'm debating just cutting fighting spirit. Fighting spirit's been a bit weird. It's alright. I'd rather just have Idol Reborn, and there's only been a single game in the last month and a half where I've actually needed it. And I forgot it was in my main deck because I've been siding it out so often. So that's probably just going to get cut, admittedly. There's a few other changes I want to make to this list after that OTS. Notably, I want to put Droll and Lockbird in the side deck because I didn't realize it was in format, and you kind of hard lose to it, so the fact that I'm running Crossout and no Droll is kind of not ideal. But anyway, we still got the 1 Eye Contact for opening all the extra islands because I'm still running Maximum Island because most people just hit the infant, so you'd rather just have a chance to go get the island and then bait them into hitting infant anyway. 3 Crossout, still really nice. This is probably, I know a lot of people aren't running Crossout and Ignister, but because I have to go strict going first, I find Crossout's been really nice. Because I don't have the board breakers and stuff to go second. I'd rather just be able to play through the hand traps. And honestly, you still need an extender to play through Nib, so I'd rather just have the Crossout than have the extender most of the time. We still got the 1 Call to the Grave for the other hand traps. What we cut the Gamma for was 3 Chalice, which has been a lot nicer because it helps going second a lot. Still not as great as having Droplets or something, but it's a lot of the hands where I was going second, it's just I wish I had another Imperm, so I've just started putting in 3 Chalice. It hasn't come up a ton yet, but I think it's just better to have it in here. And we still got the 2 Pot of Desires, which I'm starting to not really like because I'm still stuck going first, and not having Baruru really hurts. Extra. We still got the 2 Me tokens. We still got the 2 Infant. Still obviously it searches your field spell, and you can use it in your combo to get to 6k arrival. You can also use it to try and get the thing into the main monster zone if you're afraid of Mega Fleet for whatever reason. Be a little bit weaker and you're stuck with an infant on the board, but I mean, if Mega Fleet's really a problem for you, I guess. Still got the 2 Splash Mage. Splash Mage is starting to become really weird because people are starting to catch on to how do you actually hand trap this deck, and having the 2nd Splash Mage is kind of awkward. I still wouldn't cut it, but a lot of people are starting to wait for the Templar to actually use their Nibiru and stuff. So the Splash Mage doesn't typically get me through things it used to get me through, but it's still better to have it there, honestly. We still got the one Wicked, still part of your combo, the one Templar, really good. I learned you can apparently use fucking Decode Heat Soul to go into it, which is nice. That actually came up yesterday on the OTS. It's pretty good. You still got your big boss monster. This is kind of the win con for the whole deck. You kind of just win if they don't have an out to it, and a lot of the time they don't for game one, which is cool. If I was able to play going second, you wouldn't even have to like completely crutch on arrival, but I don't have board breakers, so I've been just crutching on arrival. The one Heat Soul, which is still your I Meet You target. Transcode, which I didn't realize was an I Meet You target until recently, which has been coming up a lot, which is nice. One Access Code, I still don't have two. I'm not buying a second for this deck. It's come up exactly one time so far, and I'm sure it would have been great to have it there, but honestly, I'm not spending $100 just to have a second Access Code. Or, I guess it's not 100, but like, the stupid amount of money a second Access Code would be. One Update Jammer, I still don't use it a ton. It's mostly just used for the Templar plays going second. The Security Dragon, which I've been using a little bit less as well. Still, though, it's great to have. You do need it for playing around your own nib, your own token collector and stuff like that. So, important to have. The one Link Spider, honestly, I've not once used this and actually gotten into something relevant. I don't know, like, I acknowledge why it's here. Like, it's supposed to, if you have extenders, you can play through Nib with a token by getting it out of your monster zone so you can use Island, but every single time I've had it, it's been after Splash Mage has already been used, and I don't have a way to get a third monster out with one more monster, so it's like, I can't even get the Heat Soul with it most of the time, so it's kind of just there. And rounding off the extra, we still got the one Wind Pegasus, which you summon during combo, which I somehow still don't remember when I'm supposed to resolve, or use it from Grave, which kind of sucks, but is what it is. One of those effects you either remember or you don't. And we still have the one Light Dragon as the replacement for the second Access Code, which comes up a little bit for I Meet You. It's admittedly not a ton, but there are certainly times where you could use it. I haven't summoned it a whole lot lately either, but like it's mostly just there because I don't have the Access Code. It's just an option. On to the side. Still got the two Nib, which is obviously two because there's one in the main deck, but it's been pretty nice. We got the Lancia, which debating if I want to keep in or not. Like, I gotta make room for Joel on the side somewhere. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I'm debating between Lancia and I think the next card, which is Dark Ruler No More. Dark Ruler is supposed to be helping me with going second, which honestly, if I want to switch to trying to go second, I could main the Dark Rulers and that'd be the room for the Drolls. But, I don't know, Lancia has not been coming up a ton. I think every time it has come up, it's probably just been a case of not drawing it. I don't know, it's a decision I still gotta make. Got the two Twin Twister and the one Feather Duster, which is there mostly for mine, admittedly. We got the 3-dimensional barriers, which it's Despia format, but honestly, I'm mostly just using it for Sword Soul, because Sword Soul is the deck at locals, which I seem to get paired to every single time I play this deck. I haven't seen Despia in ages, but D-Barrier has been nice going first against them. And we got the one red reboot for other trap stuff. Honestly, I don't side into it that often. Alright, so we're just going to go over what's been actually found out since last time. Last time I showed you how to use Picari to get into Arrival. I'm going to show you how you're supposed to do it with I Meet You, because I just straight up didn't know how to do it last time, and it's kind of important to know the slight differences you make to this for this card, because it's normally something you search. So you just activate the I Meet You, you reveal the Heat Soul like before. So reveal Heat Soul, get you the Achichi, normal Achichi, effect get Picari. Link off the Achichi, make the infant effect, add the field, which you are going to activate. Field effect, you summon the Picari. Picari is going to add Idle Reborn, which is important. Reborn is actually, you do need to get Reborn. Fighting Spirit is not as good for this combo, as you're going to find out. So you link these guys off to make the Wicked. You can use Ignister, or no, you're going to use Idle Reborn to target either one of these two and summon it to a zone that Wicked points to. That's going to trigger Wicked, banishing the infant from the graveyard to add Baruru to hand, of course. And you're going to link these guys off to make Splash Mage. Effective Ignister Island, summon Baruru. Baruru's effect is going to send Doyen to grave, which is important. Splash Mage effect to revive the Doyen. You're still going to make the Wind Pegasus. The Baruru effect will revive the Doyen. Since Doyen is now summoned without it being negated, you can add back the Chi-Chi. Or whichever one you normal summon. It's usually going to be a Chi-Chi if you're in a situation like this. You're going to link these guys off to make Templar. Doyen effect when sent to grave as part of this as a leak material, you're going to add Idle Reborn back. It does need to be reborn. So, effect of Templar to summon a monster through its zone. Now, if you don't have extender, we'll go over what you do if you don't have an extender first, and then, I mean, it's the same as the other combo, but I'll still show the difference. So if you don't have an extender, you're just going to use Templar. Revive the other two that are not Doyen, because you need attribute differences. So you're going to link 6 for Arrival. With 4K attack unaffected. What is different is you're going to have to, you set the Idle Reborn, and then during the opponent's like standby phase or whatever, you're going to Idle Reborn. You're going to target Baruru, and Baruru will send the Danmari to the grave, so you have the negation still. That's the big thing. So we're just going to go back a few moments to the branching point, which is not a huge branch, but it's a branch. So you don't use the Templar. You just don't use the effect. You use Infant. Chain 1, Chain 2, move over, become Divine. You summon all 3 back. And then you just target anything. I think it has to actually be Infant, because it's the only one that's not currently negated. But target something, summon Gatcheri. You now have 6, you make a rival. And then you just summon. You do the same thing. Except now you have 6k instead of 4k. That's the I Meet You combo, which was a thing I really needed to learn the first time around. We'll go through the Chi-Chi route. Like I said, it's not that much different, but I showed the Picari route last time, so we'll just show the Chi-Chi route, standard combo this time. So we normally get Chi-Chi. Effect, you're going to add the Picari, link it off, make the Infant. Effective Infant to add the field, activate the field. Effect of the field, summon Picari. So you'll get the Picari effect at I Meet You. Link these off to make Wicked. Activate I Meet You, revealing the Templar. You could reveal Access Code if for some reason you want to take damage to, I guess, make Heat Soul potentially live later. No real reason to do that, just reveal Templar. It's simpler for everyone. Summon the Doyen off island. Chain 1 Wicked, banish the Infant, and then chain 2 Doyen, target a Chi-Chi. Or whichever one you normal summon, but yeah, a Chi-Chi in this case. And that'll add Baruru. You'll link them off for the Splash Mage. Effective Island for Baruru. Baruru will send Danmari in this case. Splash Mage, target the Doyen. Speaking of things I forgot, when I linked off for Splash Mage, you should target I Meet You then. I, for some reason, tend to remember on the second one and not the first for some reason, but yeah. Should probably do it on the first in case you get interrupted. So link these off, or synchro those off for Wind Pegasus. Baruru will revive the Doyen. Link 3 for Templar. Here's where I tend to remember Doyen, so Doyen add back I Meet You. And same branch as before, so if you summon a Chi-Chi now, you can either, if you don't have an extender, you just make the 4K. If you do have the extender, you make the 6K. I have the extender, so we're just going to show the 6K again. Because, you know, fixed hand for demonstration purposes. And then I do the 4K route anyway. So, yeah. 4K it is then. Just gonna end off with a test hand here. See if we can show what you're supposed to do if you get interrupted a ton at the beginning, which people have multiple. They tend to just wait for Templar normally, but if you get hit on the Infant, you have nothing else to do. Hopefully we can show what you're supposed to do. Like, it's mostly just make Heat Soul, which means you just need any other Cybers in hand that you can summon with Infant up without the field. Which means one of 2 monsters, but you have like a ton of it. You have, like, it's pretty searchable. You shouldn't have that big of an issue with it. Just throw it out. Cut there. What do we got? Yeah, this will show perfectly. Okay. So in the absolute worst case scenario, if somebody doesn't know your choke points, you normal the Picari, they hit it with Effect Failure or Ash or something. Make the Infant. They also Veiler or Ash that, because that actually is a pretty annoying choke point. But in the situation right now, you'd summon the Hiari because you have an Ignister. You get hand trapped there at all. You get hand trapped at both instances there. Not Heat Soul immediately. You Splash Mage and you revive the thing that's not the water. And just like Heat Soul. You then have 2 draws. Cross out Desires. You'd get Desires on their turn, so it's not amazingly useful, but gives you the chance to get the resources you need. This hand would not be bad if you did get hit with multiple hand traps. You have Hikari for follow-up for next turn. You got the Nibiru and the Effect Failure for interruption. You can set the cross out if you really wanted to, if you think there's going to be something that you can interrupt with. Unless it's a mirror, though, there's probably not much you can interrupt. Unless it's like terraforming or something of that nature. To each their own. But, yeah. There's not really much else to go with here. Overall, I think this deck had a pretty good run. Not sure if I'm just going to be giving it a break or not yet. Not sure what I'm doing with it. It did pretty good for that OTS, though. I made it to finals, which I didn't think I'd ever be able to do, really. Beat some people who I didn't really think I had a chance at beating. Finals just unfortunately had to be Dinosaur, and main decking Kaiju and me opening Trash, him opening God both games is what it is. You can't really do much about it. But I'm pretty satisfied with how well it did. Aside from a few things I definitely want to change after the fact, I definitely want Droll and Lockbird to be put into the deck. Especially if the next time I play this, it's still in format. I do want to be able to cross out it, but that aside, I think it did its job pretty well. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the repeat deck profile, but some people in my locals really wanted to see it for some reason. I'll see you next time.